What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I am your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio is the one, the only, JJ Purdom.
Pew pew! Those are my nipples from E3.
Oh, how's it going?
It's good, but I mean, I thought this was like all nipples all the time. No? Okay.
No. Well,
I don't know if you guys can tell. I can't. I am loving the sound quality is coming out of my sweet,
crystal clear JJ.
Like, and you know what? The internet's not going to freeze. And apparently, it's when you delete the Pornhub app off of your phone, you like end up not having a problem.
That's what it was this whole time.
Yeah. Now we know. And I had an internet specialist come in and well, I say internet. It was Garrett. Garrett, thank you for telling me what to take off.
That was a lot of file scrubbing.
Yeah, there was so much file scrubbing. Oh my gosh.
And I promised the midget stuff was not from me. That was not mine. It came with the computer.
Yeah, right, sure it did.
Right. Yep. Also joining us is Adrian, the homeboy Holmes. Welcome,
Good
Adrian.
Evening, everyone. Good evening. This has definitely been an E3. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Been an E3, yes, correct. That is a correct statement to make there. And also joining us tonight, you know him from twitch.tv/Boba Fletch. Hey, Fletcher. Welcome to the podcast.
What's up?
I love it.
I have a massive Xbox hangover right now.
Yes.
I don't blame you.
Don't we all? But dude, how you doing? It's been a while since you've been on an episode. Good to have you.
I'm doing great. It's been a while since you guys have been doing episodes too. I would just like to point out. So
good point.
Fair
good
point.
Yeah, we took a break too. We were on a break.
I've been good though. Bought a house, playing a lot of video games. Nothing much other than that.
Leveling up.
Have another kid. So
another kid. It's not here yet, right? It's on the way.
On the way.
Okay.
If it was here now, I wouldn't be on the show.
Fair point.
I mean, you would. You'd just also be sleeping on the couch, probably. But,
not again.
Oh man, so not again. Man, it's been a week, huh? With E3. Now, how much E3 coverage have you guys all been consuming the last few days?
I'm pretty much all caught up.
Yeah, we know your answer. You've been on. If you want to know what Adrian's been up to, go to twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys or youtube.com/supergamerboys, and he's on every one of the conferences, even the ones you've never heard of. So he's all caught up.
That's true.
You're welcome. I do it all for you.
Yeah.
As for me, I got all of my stuff from E3 from watching Adrian and from watching you, Garrett, because who needs IGN when you get the Super Gamer Boys?
Heck yeah. We're top tier. We're up here. IGN.
We're up here now, man.
They're down here.
Look at us. Crystal clear. Thumbnails. Come on, man. Thumbnails.
They subscribe to some of our stuff, right? I mean,
yeah.
Am I right?
Well, I don't know. I have to check it out. I'll check. I'll let you know later.
If you say it with conviction, and then it kind of sounds like you meant it and it was true. So just leave it like that.
Speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You say it enough times, it just comes true.
It becomes
right?
true.
That's how it works. What about you, Nate? You been keeping up on everything, or?
Yeah. On Thursday, I scheduled a block of time for the opening, Summer Games Fest on my work schedule. It literally said I was busy, so I've attended every single one, and I attended the last few with my boy Adrian over here, which was a great experience.
Good, sir. I appreciate it.
Nice. Dude, yeah, it's been such a blast. Like you're saying, Adrian, we've been hitting hard this week with all the content we've been doing. It's like exhausting, but it's also been so much stinking fun. It's such a blast, like watching all this stuff, reacting to it, hanging out with the chat. So it's
a good tired.
I'm ready to go to bed, but I'm also excited for next year already.
Yeah.
It's not even over yet. I'm ready for next year. Bring it on.
I mean, who knows? We may be there next year. Just saying.
You keep saying that. It'll happen. That's how it works. That's what JJ said. Alrighty, guys. Man, today we are obviously going to be talking about E3. So we have Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. We are going to be talking about Xbox showed off this weekend. Probably going to talk about some of the other conferences. If we have some time, I'm sure we're going to talk about the Cuphead show. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Super Gamer sponsors. We got Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Brent Fox, and Daniel James. I said that very strangely. James.
You tried to say it with an accent?
James.
With
That's
an
so
accent.
offensive, man.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Dan. Very, very sorry about that. If you want to be cool just like them, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can support us over there. Just $1 a month. You get episodes early and ad-free. Some of those higher tiers is, you get shout outs on the show. You get the show notes. You can be a cool producer like what Adrian used to be. Some of the shows that you can get exclusive. Super Gamer Book Club. The first episode since the hiatus will be that first Friday of July. We will release Undertale. Super Gamer Book Club, all about Undertale.
Get ready, baby. It's
I'm
gonna
really
be a good
excited
one.
for that. That's one of those games.
It's been a ride.
It's one of those games where I've seen it a ton of times and everybody speaks its praises. I don't know. Maybe JJ will agree with me because we're not as hardcore into the indie scene. It doesn't look that good. So I'm really anticipating hearing about it because I was really similar with my current favorite game of all time, and it just grew on me. So I'm hoping this is one of those things, and I hope you guys convince me to play it.
He's
Don't you
looking
worry.
right at you, dude. Like, chill out.
Don't
Why
you
would you
worry.
like?
I mean, it's free on Game Pass. You really don't have an excuse.
That's kind of true too.
That's true. But I had to be honest. I had to open up. It's all about
Yeah,
honesty, and that's what I'm
It
here
doesn't
for.
look like the kind of game that I would like to play, but I think that it looks interesting. But it doesn't look like the kind of game that would really grab my attention. But I look forward to watching the stream that you guys put out to catch that episode for sure.
So
Yeah.
I will tell you, you will know if you're into this probably within the first 5 minutes of actually playing. There's something that happens, and if you're like, whoa, okay, I didn't see that coming, you'll either be in or you'll be like, but that's where I'm gonna leave it. That's all.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I'm excited.
It's a game. It's a game for sure. My little teaser from me would be I think I mentioned this last week. I heard so much about it and everyone raves about it, and then when I fired it up the first time, it was nothing like I'd ever my picture in my head based off of what everyone else has said. It was nothing like it. So it's literally a game like anything, like nothing I've ever played before. So
fantastic.
I'm excited. Some housekeeping real quick here as well. Remember, if you want to catch up on all our E3 coverage, we got a lot of stuff out there right now. Go over to youtube.com/supergamerboys. And if you want to watch us live tomorrow night, that's Tuesday the 15th at 8 p.m. We're going to be live reacting to the Nintendo Direct. It's happening in the morning, but for us, it will be playing live.
Chat?
We will be live on the internet.
Chat, this is the big one. Don't you spoil this. I'm going to be blind all day. I'm going to try to do my best to make it.
Nate's
You
like,
come
"Are
in here
kidding me?"
talking about a Switch Pro before it happens. I'm going to come and see you.
You'd be like GameStop.
Yeah. Don't
Freaking
GameStop
game.
it.
Don't GameStop it. So yeah, to catch us over there, twitch.tv/the Super Gamer Boys, or right here if you're watching us live right now. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it is time for the mailbag. Mailbag. We still got to figure out what we're gonna do there. It just feels so
that's right.
boring. Just like this feels so lame to be like, and
No.
it's mail time. Okay. Yeah, Adrian, you promised. You promised us.
I did
something.
promise.
All right, I'm ready.
It's fine.
I'm ready for it.
We'll give you one.
I
We'll give
should've
you one
had-
more week. It's been a busy week. We'll give you one more week.
No, I was going to get the burlap sack. Like the big mailbag that they have. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The big rucksack. Yeah, I was going to have it
okay, yeah,
offset. And I was going to be like, all right. And then sit it down and then like do like that and hand it to you.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll have it ready to go.
No,
That's the
Or-
big
I like
one.
that better. Just pretend.
Or
I like
Just
to pretend.
yeah,
pretend?
just pretend.
Yeah.
Pretend like it's the mailbag. There you go.
Or
might
we can
just
just
do
sing
that
the song, or just sing the song from Blue's Clues. That works too.
That's copyrighted,
right.
though. I don't know if you could do that.
I'm sure it's by now. It's
Viacom will come and get
There.
us.
fair Fair game there. So the first question comes from Penguin90, and they ask, what game are you guys most looking forward to playing this year or next year? So with all these announcements at E3, what are you guys most excited for so far?
That's tough. There was a lot
Or
of
even
good
out,
stuff
or even
this year.
or even outside of either. It doesn't have to be, but just something that's coming out later this year or next year.
Yeah. So I hate to like go right for the big one, but Starfield 2022. I think it was like November of 2022, and I know everybody thinks it's not going to happen, but
It's not
I really
happening.
wanted to. And
Kojima put it on the board. Garrett predicts it's not happening. That is
yeah,
not
and JJ
coming out
says
next
it's
year.
gonna. JJ says it's gonna
I'm on
because
the
Xbox
JJ
is
train.
tired of
I'm
failing.
on the JJ train.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Xbox failed with Halo, okay, and they've got egg on their face, dude. You know how hard when egg is on your face for a while and you leave it there and it's like super crusty and crap, and you start trying to scratch it off, but then it gets in your beard and it's like super crappy, and people can start smelling it within a couple of hours. That's what happened to Xbox when they didn't produce Halo when they said they were going to, with those Xbox 360 style graphics they were putting out on the new X series or Series X or
Going for
whatever.
the jugular, my God.
So I'm telling you, Xbox, you listen to me, Phil Spencer, you piece of crap. You better make Starfield happen November 2022. If you don't, I'm coming after you, bro. The Super Gamer Boys, they're coming with me, right, guys? I mean, you guys are coming
Don't
with me.
put us in
Oh,
there.
come on.
Hold on.
We're boys here. You guys are supposed to be, like my compadres, man.
You're on your own.
I still
Oh,
get
guys,
it,
you guys
though.
left me hanging.
No, you're dealing with $1 trillion Microsoft. You're on your own.
Yeah, you're good. I'm good.
Whatever Daddy Phil says to do, I do. If he says
Just how
wait,
quick
I
you guys like sold me out, like threw me under the bus so quick. Wow, I see where your real friends are sometimes, boys.
Yep. Yeah. With Microsoft and Bethesda for sure. For me, man, I am really excited for, and this one is a new one for me because it wasn't on my radar until we did the reaction stream last night. But Redfall looks really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like
Redfall
especially
looks
for that
rad.
for that being a like that's the first time it was ever announced, like world premiere, world like Xbox exclusive, one last thing. It's an IP we've never heard of before. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this looks so stinking cool. I love the vampires, like the magic abilities, like also it's like so many like cool genres and just mechanics from all these different style games like this mashed into one. Arcane's a great studio, so I'm excited for that one.
Of course, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is pretty simple. It's one word. Halo motherfreaking Infinite. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on. It has to be.
I think that's 4 words. But...
Nope, it's not. It's not 4 words. They came out with a bang, and they came out with a bang for Halo fans, and people that were, kind of coming in with an expectation that they'd show multiplayer. I understand for people that love the franchise for the single player aspect that they left most people wanting, but to come in and not even use it as the big piece of the show, just straight up come out and say, this is our multiplayer, this is what it looks like, show a little bit of the tease of the story. But I got so freaking hyped as soon as I saw that samurai. Oh my, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. As soon as I saw the samurai Spartan, I knew for a fact they were going to have a battle pass. And I can't think of anything else but grinding with my boys to get the dopest gear possible in Halo Infinite. With all my boys. All the boys are going to be playing Halo Infinite. And they killed it. Honestly, they killed it. And they showed a little bit extra this morning. They did about a 15-minute stream going over it. We'll touch on it a little bit later, but battle passes that never expire. What? That's dope. So I'm stoked.
I get to
Can't
keep
freaking
my
wait.
stuff.
You get to keep your stuff. You get to go back and play it again. If you want to buy an old battle pass, you can. I'm sold.
Dude, that's crazy.
Rad.
I actually didn't realize that. Because I didn't watch that little video. I know Kojima put it in our Discord today, but yeah, I know I'm interested to hear what what you learned from that later in the show. What about you, Adrian?
I don't know, man. There's a lot. I know Deathloop is definitely on my radar.
Oh yeah, forget about Deathloop.
I cannot wait for Deathloop. And then on the smaller side of things, you got your Sables, your Solar Ash. I think that is coming out this year. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's coming out this year. And then Replace. Was that this year?
I think
The
it
one
might
from
have
the
said
Xbox event?
2022 at the very end.
Yeah.
I think I
was it
remember
2022?
2022.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's yep. New game coming in 2022. I have it here.
Shoot.
So yeah. That's coming, dude. Yeah,
I need to
Replace looks
time
crazy.
travel, man. I gotta play that.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
That might have been game of the show. Like E3.
For me, absolutely, man.
All right. Let's save it.
All right.
Okay.
My other answer to the question, which I now I'm realizing, oh, why didn't I say that? And I think because deep down inside, I still doubt it's even going to come out next year now because I was hurt by the delay. But God of War Ragnarok or God of War 2, whatever the God of War 2 is, like I was hoping deep down inside, like I really wanted it to happen this year, and I was forcing myself to believe it. But deep down, I really knew it wasn't coming this year. And then when it got delayed, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. That's realistic. Of course it's gonna happen. But now I'm scared. Now I'm gun shy, and I'm like, is it coming next year? Is it even gonna come? So that's, I guess, yeah. I'm excited for that, but we'll see if it even comes next year. We'll see. We'll see if I even have a PS5 next year. Who knows? Maybe you still can't buy them. Maybe there's just a worldwide shortage still.
He will.
He
will.
Oh, Monster Hunter Stories. Sorry, forgot about that one. That's definitely on my radar.
Dude.
Sorry, I had to put that in there. I'm mad at Capcom, but still.
Yeah, that was like one of the 3 things they talked about today.
Right.
Next question here. Normcore Eddie writes in, the Olympics Council approaches the Gamer Boys asking you to create a video game competition for the Olympics. Which games would you choose and why?
Video game competition. As in, like, we're doing an action from a game?
No, it says which games would you choose and why? I think it's...
See, I would imagine that it would be Olympic style. So you think like the movie The Wizard. So you're going to pick some games that would be in a competition that you'd be playing against the other best players in the world. Like, think Super Mario Brothers 3 being one of the games.
Ah, okay.
Think
we
Miss
got
Pac-Man being one of the games. You know,
we got to go.
Here
with
we go.
Fusion Frenzy, right?
That's a good one. That's a great one.
That would be my choice.
I'm gonna put Ghosts and Goblins in there as an endurance run to see who can get the farthest.
No one can get...
But look, you need Olympic level skill to get anywhere in it. That's what I'm saying.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, if I get one choice, I'm going Comics Zone from the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Because it's one of my favorite games from when I was younger, and it is hard as hell.
My pick would be... I think we have to go with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. That's mine.
Dude, that is a
On
killer
the Wii.
choice.
On the Wii.
Killer choice.
On the Wii, specifically on the Wii.
The old one on the Wii, yeah, 100%.
So you have to
That's
do
the
motion controls.
That would be the true test. The true test.
Just doing the Olympic Games on a Wii at the Olympics.
Doing the ribbon one.
Oh man, that would be so good. Yep, that's my choice.
Whatever
That's the one.
country could
locking
pay
it
for
in.
the Wii Motion Plus would automatically have an advantage.
No, that would be like juicing. That'd be like using steroids. Like,
That'd be juicing?
you're not allowed to use the Wii Motion Plus. You have to use the original controller.
You know that there would be like some Russians that had like snuck it in. So don't worry, we have Wii Motion.
No,
Don't
see, they got
worry,
the one
don't
that's
worry.
built in the controller, not
It's
the
built
little.
into
That's
yeah.
how they get it. That's how they sneak it by. That's how they sneak it by.
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, so good. Cool. Well, with that, I think it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy news.
Almost.
Did it still break at the end? Did it
So
still
on the
break at the end?
on Discord it broke, but for all you audio listeners and people watching the YouTube video later, it's gonna be perfect. So if you want to hear JJ in all his glory, We have now learned how to use recording software. We now know how this works. It's a crazy technology how that works. I don't know. I've never heard of this before. But,
Crystal clear. It sounds like we actually use microphones now.
4K audio, baby.
It's actually a potato, by the way.
Cotton
So that's
4K.
that's the crazy thing. It's a potato that I poked a bunch of holes in, and then I spray
works.
painted silver. Hey, heck yeah!
First news story here. So obviously, we don't really have news stories. There's not news stories here. We're talking about E3. So I wanted to start, since it was kind of the first thing that happened last week, was with Jeff Keighley's Kickoff Live. Now, did all of you guys have a chance to watch that, see some announcements from that at all?
I saw some announcements.
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay, now I also watched it. Yeah, it was definitely, I don't know, it had a little bit of everything, which was cool. It was a cool way to start off E3, just overall from a show point of view, I guess, like not even talking about their announcements. I was actually, just really, I thought he did a really good job with keeping the pace up. Like, it wasn't like Xbox level where like it was like breakneck, keeping up with all these killer announcements and stuff. But I don't know. Overall, I actually thought it was pretty dang good with, stuff that was interesting, stuff that, I was excited about. Freaking Death Stranding. I mean, that's all I could talk about for the next 3 days.
I wish I could have listened to you flip out about that.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is that? At first I thought it was DLC, and then like when there's all the metal, we'll talk about it. Hang on. We're talking about the show right now. I don't know. Overall, I thought they actually did a really good job of just like teasing some things, because, and some of the things ended up being in other conferences later, but it was just a good like appetizer before the main meal. That was my kind of broad stroke thoughts on that. So I don't know. How did you guys feel about that show?
Metal Slug Tactics, baby.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
go. I was so hyped for that. I did not see that coming at all.
No, yeah, that was a surprise.
I'm ready. Give it to me.
I thought it was a touch too long, maybe about 30 minutes too long. A little bit too much filling in the pillow. I like a little bit of a smaller pillow, get better sleep. You can wrap the pillow in half if you want. It was too stuffed, and I ended up
that overstuffed Oreo, huh?
Yeah, I ended up leaving, watching it like halfway through and coming back and just realizing I didn't miss anything.
But Nate, we have to hear from Jeff Goldblum, and we have to hear from Ryan Reynolds about Free Guy, the movie.
There were some decisions that were clearly, he has connections and he made those connections happen and he filled it up. But I think this was a proof of concept with the viewership that he had and the announcements that he got, including the final one. I think it's a proof of concept, and knowing Jeff Keighley's work, he'll clean it up. It'll be more awesome next year. So yeah, I liked it overall.
Yeah, my thought was that it was way too long too. I had a hard time. I watched maybe 6 or 7 minutes of it, and I think that if they and Capcom would have worked together, they probably could have had like a much
an entire show.
Like they could have just like, hey guys, we don't really have much. Oh my gosh, we have way too much. Why don't we just kind of like buddy up?
You take
Sure,
this.
A little
We'll
tag
take
team
this.
action.
Oh man, so good. So let's dive into some announcements. You mentioned, let's just dive into this big one here, right? The very end. Much
Megaton
anticipated Elden Ring was officially announced. With the release date was officially announced, January 21st, 2022. Which seems crazy. This game that we've literally heard like nothing about, and also like boom, and it's coming.
He sounded like he was getting ready to cry when he was announcing this.
100%. Oh man, yeah. What did he say? He's like, and now it is time. And he like, I don't know, like his voice like on the edge of cracking.
You've all been
like,
waiting for.
You've been waiting so long,
dude.
I
And
finally got it.
What if it was like the new Mario and Sonic Olympic Games? It's like Giga.
But would it be
Jeff-
backwards compatible on the Wii?
He is immediately done. Everybody is like, Keely, you're out of here. We're never doing this again.
deeper into gamer prison?
Oh no. Oh man, but yeah, so January 21st, we're getting Elden Ring. What were some of your guys' thoughts on that? Because I mean, I already talked about last week. I'm not the Souls guy. I think they look extremely cool and crazy, but I am bad at them. How do you guys feel about the Elden Ring? How it looks? Are you excited about trying it?
I think it looks phenomenal. I'm, I'm I guess a glutton for punishment. I love a good difficult game. I have a black belt in Cupheadies. I have 100% in that game, so I know
Whoa.
my way around a hard game. So I'm looking forward to it. That studio From Software, they don't miss.
Hmm.
So, and then you got, George R. R. Martin, who actually apparently finished a story, which is weird, right? But he finished a story, so they were able to make the game. So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out, especially
I
lore-wise
mean,
too.
you haven't beat the game yit. For all you know,
Yeah.
you get to the end, it's like to be continued.
Man,
Elden
know
Ring
what?
2
You
in
know
like
what?
10 years.
It's a picture of it's a picture of George. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that it looked beautiful. That game looks so great. Obviously, if it has anything to do with George R. R. Martin, it's going to be gorgeous like that. I mean, it's beautiful. I think that it looks like a lot of fun. I'm never going to play it because I am not a glutton for punishment. I hate playing games like Bloodborne that look phenomenal, but I'm not a good enough gamer to be able to play that kind of crap. And then to still be able to look my little eyes into the mirror the next morning. Like I would just get obliterated. I'd have to hand it to my 10-year-old and watch him like smash on it. And like, dude, get me to the
I don't
next
know,
level
man.
real quick. Just come
I
on.
don't think
Get me to the
he's
next-
going to be as
No.
lucky either.
No, there's no
these
way.
games are hard, man.
Yeah, I could tell, but it does look gorgeous, and,
Yeah.
and it'll probably kill. Like a lot of people are going to go crazy. I think a big reason why games like that are so popular is people that are really skilled and are great gamers like that challenge. Me, I'm not one of those guys. To be perfectly honest, that's not my bag.
Yeah, now Nate, you have a PS5 and you've played Demon Souls. So are you generally a fan of that genre, or did you just kind of like pick up Demon Souls because it was the only game on PS5?
Hey, there was Astrobots. Come on, dude.
It was
Okay,
built
okay.
Miles
in.
Morales.
Calm down.
I'm a Souls fan. I'm a Souls-like fan.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm halfway between a glutton for punishment and, a JJ,
Pro
as we
gamer.
like to call it in the
sorry.
industry.
Pro
Thank you.
gamer.
I love Bloodborne, and I actually really loved Dark Souls 3. I thought that was awesome. It's also one of the easiest Dark Souls games, in my opinion. So maybe that's why I liked it so much. And then, I played Demon Souls. I even played Sekiro. And the problem I have with Demon Souls is I only get about halfway through Souls games before I get burnt out. So I've never finished them. I'm worried that with the open world, that's just going to make that worse because it'll become even more overwhelming. And the sense of exploration kind of intimidates me when it comes to a Souls game because getting stuck in a zone in, a regular Souls game is fine because you've learned the patterns, you've learned the paths. What's that going to look like now? With an open-ended world, what happens when you go to retrieve your souls? Not that
And they're
they'll be
all the
souls,
way
whatever
across
they're
the
gonna be.
map.
When they're
Yeah,
all the
you
way
need to
across
travel
the map,
for like
and how's
15
the
minutes
saving
across
look?
the map to get them. Yeah.
And are there going to be tons of enemies on the way? I don't know. I'm intimidated, but I think that makes it even more fun.
Right.
So that's what interests me. So 100% I'll get it. I'm super hyped. I can't believe he got this announcement. I know that Microsoft tried to buy the announcement. They wanted it so bad, but I'm stoked that he got it because I think, like I said earlier, it's a perfect picture of like this proof of concept. It works, and I'm stoked to see what happens next year.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, no, it's so bizarre that Jeff got a hold of this thing. Like, so crazy. And that's, like you said, it's exciting because that just means like, okay, these developers trust him. They know he's going to do good work. And hopefully that means that it's just going to keep getting better and better in each and every year and keep getting bigger announcements. Like maybe next year you'll finally have an actual Hideo Kojima announcement and not just Kojima talking about 9/11 for 10 minutes.
You know, these
That's
things, this E3 conference, it's really been a lot like 9/11. You know, it's just
I don't- that was like the most bizarre like interview. I was like, why does he keep referencing 9/11? He's like, this pandemic, like things are gonna be different after this, a
right.
lot like 9/11. It's like,
It's
okay,
like
yeah, we
we
get it.
know,
Like we
we
lived
got
it.
it.
We understand it. Like, yeah, the game's landscape's gonna look now. What about your game? Yeah,
Right.
well, like back in 9/11, like it's like okay,
I
it's like an
started
old,
thinking about Death Stranding right around September of 2001.
yeah.
There must be like a big game that's going to get released on September 11th. And I think
Maybe.
Oh man, that's a big brain play there. Like next
Foresight.
year,
that would be. It would be.
September 11th,
Yeah.
2022.
I mean, we
You
did
heard it
get
here
something
first.
though. We did get something. We got. I mean, like I said before, Kojima was like, "Look, it's Death Stranding. I added a box, director's cut."
Yeah. So yeah, I know for a lot of you, you're like, what the heck is this stupid trailer? If you're not a Metal Gear fan or even just a Kojima fan or anything, like you're just like Death Stranding's dumb and I don't understand what this is referencing. But the second it kicked in the music, I was like, oh, this is 100% Metal Gear reference. Like before you even saw anything, just music playing, soundtrack. I'm like, oh, that's like Metal Gear music. Okay, what are we in for? The way the camera angles, like showing the map, I'm like, oh my gosh. At first I was like, is this DLC? It's gonna be like, I thought at first I was like, is this stealth VR missions? But in Death Stranding,
I thought they were gonna pull out and he was gonna be at Shadow Moses, and I was
yeah,
like, "Who's
yeah.
gonna pick Garrett up off the floor?"
Oh my gosh. I was like losing my mind in here. I was supposed to be working. Phone calls are coming in. I'm like, no, not now. Hang up that phone right now. I need to watch this. And dude, yeah, I was like losing in here. And yeah, again, it's a cheesy, stupid. I'm not gonna deny it was cheesy. Like it's really cheesy and goofy. But it just like totally fed that like that love for Metal Gear without like straight up being like, hey, I made Metal Gear before, even though it's exactly, it kicked you in the teeth with it really.
Yeah.
But then yeah, now okay, we're gonna director's cut, which we don't know what that means, but I love Death Stranding so much. You guys all have heard it a million times, but to the fact that okay, they're coming out with a version that's gonna have stuff that maybe was on the cutting room floor, like they had to cut it out for time, they had to cut it out for whatever it might be, like crazy Kojima, like all over the placeness, spaghetti brain kind of thing. Like I'm all about it. So I think I even tweeted out. I have the art book. It's like 250 pages of all this concept art. And if after flipping through there, I watch that trailer, I flip through the book, and I'm like, dude, if they bring just like I don't know, just a couple pages out of this book into the game that isn't there currently, like there's gonna be such fun, like new areas, new towns, new like monsters, creatures.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh man.
Is there a change list? Like, did they show? Like, is it because they got extra horsepower now? Are they running it in 4K? What did they detail anywhere? Like, what the changes are going to be with the hardware? Because it runs 4K on PC, right?
Yes, it does. So I don't think there's a ton of information out there. I'm sure with the PS5 it will be. I'd be shocked if it wasn't 4K 60 at least, because it was 4K on even on PS4 Pro. It just didn't run at 60.
4K is probably a good 1440.
Yeah, well, yeah. And so yeah, I think I did read somewhere though. Yeah, it's getting the visual upgrades. So it'll be 4K 60. But other than that, and that there's just going to be additional content. Like it didn't reveal
Boxes.
anything else. It's going to be yeah, lots more boxes that you can jump into. Can't wait. Love boxes. Oranges, love them. So yeah, that was my standout for the Jeff Keighley conference for sure. But cool. Anyone else have anything you want to talk about from old Keighley's showcase? Or are we ready to jump into the big boy Xbox here?
I
No,
thought
man, I talked about my tactics. I'm good.
Yeah.
I thought Tiny Tina's Wonderland was. I mean, it was kind of leaked beforehand. If you kind of stay in those circles, so I knew it was coming. I was pretty disappointed with what they showed. I don't think it showed much character, and I don't think it really showed like they're looking to progress the franchise any further. It kind of just felt like more of the same. It almost felt like it was going to be just a DLC, but this is going to be a full price game coming next year.
Yeah.
I was disappointed because I am a massive Borderlands fan, but yeah, we can talk about that a little bit more in the Gearbox talk. But
yeah, I read it, so I didn't watch that's actually one of the conferences I didn't get to see. Their Gearbox is one of them. But from what I read after the Jeff Keighley thing, in some interview, like they mentioned, oh yeah, like this, they're even considering it like it's not a spin-off. They're saying it's like its own standalone game, its own standalone world, like, which seems weird. Like in my mind, it's like, well, it's a spin-off because it's
It's
derived
that
from
character.
this. Yeah, it's a character from this game and world that exists. But they're like, oh no, no. Like I read some interview, it's like, no, it's not a spin-off. It's its own thing. It's like,
It's its own thing is fine.
I think that's
but
I think that's what a
exciting if
spin-off
you
is. I
say
think it's what a
that,
spin-off
but
is.
they didn't show that. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
Like they showed nothing, and it's not that they even had to show gameplay, but like, were any of you guys hyped by that trailer? Like, did that do anything for you?
not really. I never even finished 3.
Yeah.
Well, that's a crime. But anyway, I'm just kidding.
I said never finished. I didn't say never started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I say that all the time. Never finished, that is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They got
well,
to
no, you don't.
the TikToking YouTube villains, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, and Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
but
can
yeah,
go
so-
over the Gearbox show if you want. I watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
absolutely.
If you watch it, do it.
It was awful. It was horrible. There's absolutely no reason for it to be there.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Okay, so I'll give you a quick recap. My guy, what's his name? Gearbox head
Randy?
honcho. Randy Pitchford, my guy. The magician.
My guy.
The magician.
hey,
The
he has
thumb
no-
drive magician.
He has no right to be doing any type of E3 event. The dude's just straight up a horrible human being. I don't know why
Absolutely.
he's there. He has no right to be in the space, and for him to start off the show was awful. Like that was like getting off on the wrong foot. We're trying to put that behind us as Gearbox fans, and he keeps putting his head out there. That's annoying. But it kind of
Hey,
started
can't
off
get
by-
rid of me.
Oh, it was just weird. But he started off on the Borderlands movie set, and he was just talking to people on the set, the director, Kevin Hart, stuff like that. But they blurred out anything that was involving the movie, and they didn't show any new content. And all it basically was like him bragging about this new movie that they're going to do with the cast for like, I'm not even kidding, 15 minutes. So they go into the new Wonderlands after that. They show a couple more things. Doesn't matter. None of it was hype. And then they end on another 15 minutes at this movie set showing absolutely nothing new. And I have one theme with this whole entire E3 lineup. It's that if you don't have anything to bring, don't show up. Don't come
Don't
to the
show up. Don't come.
It looks worse. And leading with Randy Pitchford and going straight into the same exact trailer you just showed the day before for Wonderland,
Yeah.
Tiny Tina's,
Jeez.
it was awful. It made me. I'm not like a massive Gearbox fan, but I'm a massive Borderlands fan, and seeing that, like, it made me not even stoked for the movie, and that sucks because he's not even involved in the movie, and I'm excited about that cast and that director, but him doing that, I don't know. It'd be like, I don't know.
It'd be like, I don't know. It'd be like Mila Jovovich being in a Monster Hunter movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It was whack, and I wasn't necessarily disappointed because I don't know what I expected, but it was frustrating.
Nate, it's got to be said that the way that you set that up was absolutely perfect. You said, guys, I watched the Gearbox. I'd love to talk about it. Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely, Nate. Yeah, it sucked, dude. It just sucked ass. Like, it was horrible.
Don't worry,
I was-
JJ.
man,
You got about 2 more of those coming.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You guys got to do your rankings, but that is F tier. F. Worse. I mean, there was that other show, Coach Media, something like, I don't know.
Yeah, that one was
Koch Media.
awful.
This was right there with it. I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
it was
man.
so bad. But anyways,
Jeez.
we can move on. I don't.
So
it's ruining my
they
vibe.
didn't, they didn't talk about Godfall at all. Their game that just came out in November, no DLC for Godfall, anything like that.
Oh, you just reminded me. They're bringing Godfall to PS4.
What? Why?
They're bringing Godfall to PS4 after
So
they
it can run at
specifically
900p and 15 frames a second?
They
That
specifically
doesn't make any
stated
sense.
they didn't build it for PS4 because the textures and the way they designed it would never work on old architecture. Guess what happens
That was
when
one
your
of the
game
talking
sucks?
points.
Yeah,
So-
guess
so
what
you're
happens when
telling
your
me-
game sucks? You bring it to a bigger platform.
You're telling me
Oh,
Gearbox
no.
believes in generations too?
Oh, apparently now they do when they're not making money. Yeah,
Oh
so
my gosh.
that was the icing on the cake. I'm so glad you brought that up.
I actually had no idea that was announced. I'm glad I brought that up too.
I'm so glad you did. It was so bad, dude. It was like, it,
Oh
I
my
felt like I was
gosh.
rolling downhill by the end of it. It was a slow pace to start, and then by the end of it, we were just careening off a cliff.
Whoa, whoa, no. Look out for that rock. Oh my gosh. That's so horrible. Man. Yeah, why do companies think they have to do an E3 conference? Like when are they gonna learn like sometimes it's okay just to be quiet? Um, you
Just
know,
sit there. Sit there and
it's
eat
I
your
mean,
food.
Sony's been doing it for 3 years and
They've been fine. They've been just
they've been
fine.
they're still making lots of money. I mean, I wish they at this point now I wish they'd do something, but at least they're not making a fool of themselves with having nothing, you know?
They don't have to do anything. They just dropped Ratchet and Clank 10 out of 10. They're cooling right now. They're
Yeah,
good.
dude. Freaking Ratchet and Clank, that game looks so good. I'm sure we'll talk about
It
that
looks
later.
phenomenal.
Because I think I saw someone had it in there. What you playing? Um,
Oh, really?
but okay, so we did Gearbox, we did Jeff Keighley's. Adrian, you did some of the smaller ones over the weekend. Is there any of those that you want to like shout out, or do you want to save some of that for the Indie Boys showcase or that your Indie Boys
I'll
episode?
do general right now, and then
Yeah,
I'll pick my. I'll go through my bullet list of favorites later on. Um, the Wholesome Direct, and so I covered the Wholesome Direct. I covered Day of the Devs, and my apologies to the Devolver team. It just there was not enough time in the day. I wanted to do the Devolver Direct, but it just didn't work out. But I did watch it on my own time. All three of you guys killed it. There are tons and tons of games that I am definitely looking forward to from all three different events. Yeah. The indie scene is alive and bigger and better than ever.
Nice.
dude, it's popping. Yeah, you tweeted out a clip from Paris. What's
Paris
his last
Lily.
name there?
Lily.
Yes, Paris Lily, and about him, yeah, talking about just indie games and that being like the backbone of like the gaming industry right now, and like they're the ones taking chances, trying new things that down the road eventually all those AAA games are gonna pick up and
They're gonna
maybe like
copy and then be
make
like,
make it look prettier and stuff like that.
right.
But like indie games are just
How come
like
no one's ever done this before?
it's like well 3 years ago,
Right.
yeah, no, dude,
Let's talk about Returnal. Returnal, the only reason it got greenlit is because of indie games.
Exactly.
Totally. So yeah, I you've really opened my eyes, Adrian, with doing your Super Indie Boys segment on our show, and then just this weekend with watching these conferences, watching you react to them. I'm like, oh man, like I'm all about these games now. Like I'm excited to going forward to start playing way more indie games, because and honestly, like there's so many awesome ones coming out.
And there's so many different ones. There's something for everybody. You may think, oh, indie games, oh, they're not real game. Trust me, something in one of these conferences is you're gonna be like, whoa, actually, that's kind of sick. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much Call of Duty, how much Madden, how much any other kind of mainstream game that you play. Something in this year's directs and conferences is gonna speak to you. It's too much
Yeah.
stuff not to.
100%. Cool. Well, now I'm excited to talk about the big boy. Let's talk about the big boy Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase. Give me some overall thoughts here, quick. Let's start with you, Nate. How did you feel about this behemoth of a showcase?
I think, and I think I tweeted about it or said it enough. But I think that this was the culmination of everything that we've talked about in the past, everything that Phil Spencer came in to do. It's the start of something extremely special, and I think the way they came out, it's like every lesson that they learned, they implemented into this show. The fact that in 2021 we have a roadmap of games that are coming to Game Pass, the fact that they only showed 3 non-Game Pass games, the fact that in 2022 there's even bigger bangers. Like we got Starfield at the end of the year, like they're going to stat pad basically with everything else. And the fact that in 2023 we got titles like Avowed, Fable, Hellblade 2. I mean, it's crazy that we have a roadmap now, and this was the perfect way for them to say, this is what we have for you this year. But hold on to your seats because we have so much more for you, and they'll actually deliver it. And I would say 5 years ago when they came out, it never felt like they were actually going to deliver on that stuff. So
Yeah.
it was banger after banger, man. It was a bunch of A+ games. I'm not gonna say I was blown away by anything. I expected most of it. The only one that really surprised me was Redfall.
Redfall, yeah.
Yeah, Redfall at the end. I thought that was cool for them to end with a new IP. That was ballsy. Because if that didn't look good, I thought that would have been a bummer of an ending.
Yeah.
But I feel like we'll go into games in a bit in specifics, but those are my overall thoughts, man. As a massive Xbox fan, I told my wife afterwards, like, that was the first time in a long time that I can remember being hyped for a show, and it hit it. It didn't necessarily exceed it, but it just hit that, and it was perfect. So really, really excited.
Rad.
Were there any that Bethesda announced were exclusives to Xbox, or was
Yeah.
that nothing that was said? Okay.
All of
They
it.
finally came out and they said Starfield is only on Xbox.
I knew Starfield was, but I didn't know if the majority of the games are all going to be exclusive. I don't know if they have already any contracts with Sony to have some come out over the next couple of years.
They
Having
haven't
the deal
said any-
just being done.
They haven't said
The
anything beyond Starfield right now. But the fact that they came out and said that Starfield is pretty much an exclusive, I think you can pretty much bet that anything moving forward is probably going to be an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
The only thing that's up in the air is probably Elder Scrolls, but who knows? We'll have to see.
So Redfall is technically from Arcane, which is a Bethesda studio.
So that's
And,
exclusive then.
and that's
Yeah.
exclusive to Xbox and PC. So that's also another Bethesda one will be exclusive. I guess we don't really know about what was the other? Shoot, Outer Worlds 2. That's Obsidian though. That's different. That's
Yep,
not,
that's
that's
exclusive
they
too.
own that, so.
Which is,
but that's
I noted that was odd because the first one is on PS4 and Switch. So
Yeah.
that's a little weird that this one is exclusive to Xbox and on Game Pass. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, they bought that studio after the original one was released. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but that had to be the best teaser of the.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah, with the
It had to be.
narrator.
I mean,
the super tongue in
it was
cheek.
cheeky. Yeah, it was good.
So good.
It's the splash screen when they don't have anything to show yet.
Garrett, I'm dying to know what you thought about it, bro.
Dude, so I went into it like, I mean, I said on last week's show, I was like, I need to see new games that, they've been acquiring all these studios, do something with them. They've been hyping up Game Pass and xCloud and they've been setting everyone up for years. Now they're set up, throw stuff at me. And also,
And boy, did
and then Starfield, if Starfield happens to get a date, like, blow me away. Go make my day. I doubt it though. I doubted it hardcore. And then they frickin' start the show. Hey, check out this franchise you may have heard of before. Big Starfield logo. Immediately, like, shows a little teaser, cinematic teaser with a date. Me and Adrian are like, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this is what you start the show with. So right off the bat, like, I was hype as heck because I was like going into this like, okay, there's gonna be some cool stuff, but will they deliver? And again, I would have to agree with you, Nate. I don't know if I feel like I was like they
Floored.
exceeded, they went above and beyond. Other than I guess Starfield specifically, that was above and beyond. But everything else, they exactly delivered what I was looking for, exactly what I asked for, which is so awesome. Like, all these games that we've either been hearing about, they finally got dates. They're all coming to Game Pass. Games we've never heard of, they're getting dates. They're coming to Game Pass. Games that maybe they're not getting dates, but we know, yeah, like you said, we have a roadmap for the next couple of years. And so for me, I thought this was a killer conference from Xbox because, they've been setting up. And honestly, for me, the last few years, like, Xbox conferences have been like, it's fine. Like, like, they've never really grabbed my attention. And granted, in years past, I was way more hardcore of a Sony pony too. So I was just like, yeah, give me the Sony news, whatever. I don't care about Xbox. But this year, kind of skewing a little more towards PC and Xbox side of things now, and actually wanting something from them, like yearning for, like, give me more, give me something. And they delivered on it. Dude, at the end of it, I was so freaking hyped, so freaking excited. So Like I gave this like an A. Like I thought this was a killer. The only reason it didn't get, A+ for me, I was a little bummed on the Halo stuff that we didn't see gameplay of the campaign, since that's like that was the biggest gripe. Like I feel like that was the biggest like out like everyone was freaking out about last year when they showed it, was why does a single player campaign have this crazy pop in, this crazy graphics, like what's going on, like textures are funny, and the fact that we're 5 months out and they didn't address that, a little strange. But yeah, otherwise overall top tier, amazing conference, and honestly just made me fall even more in love with Xbox. So there, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah, they're definitely digging down.
Now prove
on
your
the Game Pass
loyalty.
stuff.
Smash that lamp back there.
Smash the lamp.
Yeah, they definitely ended up digging down on the Game Pass stuff, which I think is brilliant. They just went a different direction. And when they first started doing that a couple of years ago, we did not see it coming. We were like, what are they doing? Like Sony's going to kick their butt again. Sony's preparing for the next generation, and they're worried about Game Pass. And like now you're realizing like they're genius. They really did a phenomenal job. They did like a 180 where you could kind of see them starting to really come up the tracks. They might not reach Sony's level of console sales and stuff like that this year, but I don't think that's the point.
Yeah.
I think that what they're looking to do is try to get as many of those Xboxes into as many hands as they can and to sell Game Pass.
It's not even, I was going to say, it's not even the boxes that they really care about anymore. They want people on that service. That's why they're
I'm not even talking about new generation. I'm talking about, like the Xbox One and stuff like this. Just being all more about Game Pass and getting an Xbox in every home.
Exactly. That's why they're putting them in TVs too. They would I mean the box is an incentive for the hardcore people, right? Like, if you want your stuff to look 4K, 120 frames a second, all that kind of stuff, then you can get an Xbox. But if you just want to play Xbox games, you can do it on your phone. You could do it on your computer. In the future, you could do it on TVs. There's going to be ample. And you know what? I mean, I don't know why they would have switches in the background of their events if it's not eventually going to show up there. But they're making it to where you'll be able to play Game Pass games pretty much anywhere. And that's what they're going for, is accessibility. I don't think the Xbox console is as important anymore as the service is, as the ecosystem is.
And straight up, in 5 years, Netflix will be doing it too.
Yep.
And Sony will be doing it too. And it's not going to be just them. And it's not like they're reinventing the wheel, but the fact that they're so far ahead makes me not concerned, but like, we watched this show not thinking. I saw this tweet today, like, we watched this show not thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to buy that. I don't know if I want to buy that. We watched the show like, oh, sweet, on Game Pass. Oh, sweet, I get to play that. Oh, sweet, I get to play it. It wasn't the normal feeling of E3, like, all right, here's my top 5 that I'm going to pay for. No,
making your wish list, and then scheduling it, like, okay, I can get this one in January, and then I got to save it for a couple months. I get this, like, it's just like, oh, it's all coming to Game Pass. I can play it whenever the heck I want. Like,
they were too early.
Amazing.
Microsoft was too early. They were trying to do this, 2013? They were trying to set that up, and everybody wasn't ready for it. Now look, just like Nate just said, it's on Game Pass. We've been conditioned. We've had time to get used to this business model. Here we are.
Nate, you said something interesting a second ago. You said that you think that Netflix is going to be doing that. I know they've talked about getting into the gaming sphere, and then you said that Sony. So I mean, do you see Sony trying to copy that model with their PS Now and start to actually push it and make it more readily available and make it more discounted and try to get it into more people's hands?
I mean, you have to, right? Microsoft is over here making billion-dollar acquisitions potentially every year. At this point, they've clearly stated we are buying. We're in a buying mood or whatever right now.
Yeah. So
that's what they're doing, and they're going to keep building it. And like I said, we have a roadmap now, and we have a roadmap of free games. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, that disparity between a $70 brand new next-gen title and a $15 a month fee just gets wider and wider and wider the more Microsoft acquires games. And not only are they acquiring first-party games, I mean, I saw Back 4 Blood come to Game Pass. I saw Hades is coming to Game Pass. Like
the entire Yakuza series. is on Game Pass.
Some of the biggest games out there are coming to Game Pass, and Sony can't do nothing. I'm not saying they will necessarily do this.
They
I
think
see
they
them.
can do nothing right now.
They think right now, but I think once Microsoft says we have 50 million on Game Pass, it's going to become pretty clear what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Adrian, did we hear from you about your kind of thoughts on the overall conference?
So the only thing that would differ from me with you guys is how you guys are talking about. There's nothing as a whole that the conference like floored you guys, but for me, the specific thing that did, and I already mentioned it before, was Replaced. Replaced looks so freaking good. I had no idea that this game was coming out or that it was being developed or anything like that. It looks phenomenal. The music looks great. It's gorgeous. Garrett, you were saying it reminded you of that one game that we saw a few years ago that kind of came out and then disappeared.
We couldn't remember the name of it, but yeah, it was like that ninja game, is it similar art
Wasn't
style?
Wasn't it like
with like
The Long Night or
Yeah,
The
it was like
Last
the
Night or
last
something like that?
or something. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
but yeah, that game looks phenomenal. That was the dropping moment for me of that conference. So yeah, I'm that's day one. Give it to me whenever it's ready to go.
100%.
Garrett, would you concur? Is that a panty dropper?
Replaced? 100%. Yeah, I am all about that. Like as soon as I saw that art style, I'm like, I used the word vibe 100 times that night, and that was one of those games where like this is giving off all sorts of vibes that like whether I finish it or not, I'm playing it because the soundtrack's killer. I love the aesthetic, that pixel art style but with like real, like it's almost like ray trace textures, like actual water features and like reflections with like, it's just the most bizarre thing to look at, and just gorgeous thing to look at, and I almost want to play it just to look at. Like I don't know if I could care less about the story. Just watching that trailer, I'm like, oh my gosh,
it's gonna make some killer backgrounds, some killer wallpapers.
Right?
I can tell you that.
100%. So I'm really excited about that.
I can't believe we didn't mention Jack Sparrow and the gang.
Oh yeah, Garrett freaking out about it. I forgot about that.
That was
Right.
was their
freaking out about
that was their
Thieves.
easy to market announcement at the show. That, I mean, come on.
Jared almost fell out of his chair. I forgot about that.
I was like, whoa, it's Jack Sparrow. Look, oh my gosh, how they get Johnny Depp in there? He's so busy doing all this other stuff. I can't believe it.
All this other stuff, you mean the rape case? So, no, were we not supposed to talk about that? So,
no, we were talking
probably
about him
filmed it
getting
before.
kicked off the Harry Potter movie.
Yeah,
That's right.
That was huge. I'm a massive Sea of Thieves fan, obviously. Thousands of hours into it with all my boys. I'm excited for this. It'll bring me back into it again. That's a game just like Destiny. You know, it's a live service. You don't have to play it all the time. You can come back to it whenever you want. And Jack Sparrow is bringing me right back.
Yeah, honestly, that was one too. Like when I saw that, I'm like, I'm not a Sea of Thieves guy. It always looked interesting, but I'm a fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. I'm like, they're bringing Jack Sparrow. Like, why not? Like, I might give it a shot. I might not play much of it, but it's like, I'll probably fire it up and see what happens. You know, I'm excited. So, let's see. Anything else? JJ, did you anything stand out to you from the conference? I don't know how much you're able to go back and watch, but because you weren't on the stream with us, but I know maybe outside of that you watched. Anything that you're excited about that you saw?
Which conference are we talking about?
Xbox, baby.
The Xbox, yeah. Literally right out the gate, they brought in the big gun in Starfield, and that thing just blew me away, dude. And then getting an actual date. I know we talked about it last week on the show, where that's one of the games that I was really excited about, and I really didn't think it was going to come out until like 2024. That's what I was thinking was going to happen.
It's a fair
I'm
guess.
like, it'll probably come out, you know. And so to get something for the end of 2022, for me, it's something to look forward to. And it's right before my birthday, boys. Just saying.
Daddy Phil knew.
He knew. It's just for you, baby.
Thanks, Phil. I take back everything I said about you earlier.
Kind of a weird, I don't know. there wasn't too much weird stuff in the conference. There was this one thing that was like, what do you guys think of that Contraband? The official announced trailer,
I don't know what to think. They
1970s.
didn't give me anything to think about.
Exactly.
I thought it was just a flex. It was just like, look at, we have another studio and making another game for us. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's a good
yeah,
studio. They make good, fun games. I bet you it's just going to be an absolutely ridiculous game.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I can't say one thing one way or the other. There's
Yeah.
there's literally nothing to take from this other than there's a game
Yeah.
coming.
I agree.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, I have to agree. It just was like, I don't know. Yeah, it just seems so strange. Yeah, I guess you're right. Now that you put it in context like that, Nate, like, yeah, it's just a flex saying, hey, we got one more thing. It's going to be on Game Pass. But in the moment, it's just like, what the heck was that? Like, okay. But of course, they just were so hard with the bangers, like one thing after another. You very quickly forgot about it, which is kind of a weird thing. Like, they just kind of throw, it seems like just kind of fodder they threw in there a little bit. It's like, hey, this is the thing. Okay, see ya.
They probably
So,
should have held off on that honestly until they had a little bit more.
yeah,
It was
and that's,
it was an odd choice, but that
uh,
other
yeah,
one at the end, Redfall.
Rad. Looks rad.
I think it's not getting enough hype for it being their end of show, probably because it's not an existing IP. But oh my
That's
gosh,
great.
it looks good.
Give me new
It's-
IPs. I want fresh ideas.
Yeah. And then I had a
Yeah.
little bit of an awakening for vampires, I'm not going to lie.
Those are the
Dude.
kind of vampires that do it for you?
Yeah, apparently.
Garrett typically likes vampires that like glow when the sun touches them. So I mean, he's a big fan of glittery vampires.
I mean, those at least look like people, not like freaking nightmare monsters. Nate's like, yep. Those fangs they're real big. Those eyes are glowing real red over there.
Well, I was down bad before that trailer, all right? Brought me back up again. I just wanted to feel something.
Oh, you gonna feel that bite, all right.
Oh man. Yeah, no, Redfall, for them to come out so hard with like, yeah, the one last thing was not only like a pretty extensive like reveal trailer. Like it wasn't a Contraband. Like it was actually like, fleshed some stuff out, even started introducing characters to an extent, and kind of like even like a very general storyline. They could even say like before the shit hits the fan, after the shit hits the fan. It's kind of very, so they're setting up it's going to be comedic and kind of funny, but also like the combat. I'm all about the like Left 4 Dead looking like fighting vampires though instead of hordes of zombies.
And their powers.
Yeah, it's an IP we've never heard of, and that the balls that they had to just be like, yeah, that's our one last thing that we're gonna go with. Yeah, I think so. Let's do it. And for me, yeah, it nailed it. I haven't seen too much hype online, but for me, that was like, holy smokes, that skyrocketed this this conference like into the sun. They end on such a fun game that you've never heard of before, and immediately feel like I need to play it. Like I don't know, like as if it's like a sequel. You'd think like the way I'm excited about it is like I know exactly what I'm getting into.
Oh,
but
what?
I'm also
Redfall
like,
2?
yeah, sign me up. No, yeah, now it's by Arcane, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Arcane Austin. Yeah.
Okay, and that's what I want to clarify. So there are different Arcane studios.
This
Yes.
is the Dishonored studio. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's the clarification I needed, because yeah, it says here brought play. They brought the excellent Prey. That's what this article here says. And probably yeah, the same ones who did Dishonored. Because I also knew like Arcane's working on what's the game you
Deathloop.
mentioned earlier, Adrian? Deathloop. Yeah. And so it kind of caught me like, oh wait, what happened? Like Deathloop's been delayed. Why are they working on this? But that makes more sense. So thanks for answering that.
No worries. No, yeah. Dishonored. I mean, if that's the pedigree you're coming from, you already are off to a good start. Dishonored deserves way more praise than it got. It deserves a way bigger shout out than it got. It kind of like, I don't know. For me and the people in the circles that I run in, it seems like it flies under the radar a lot. And Dishonored 1 was good, and then Dishonored 2 was great. So
Yeah.
I hope at some point, especially now that they're Microsoft back, that they have the resources if they ever want to come back and do 3, then Microsoft would be like, yeah, go ahead and do it. So
Fantastic games, 100%.
So good. All right. If there's not anything else we need to nail on the Xbox and Bethesda, I know, Adrian, you're dying to talk about Square and Capcom.
Yeah, I'll talk about Square and Capcom. They sucked. There you go, JJ.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, sir. I saw some of Capcom's, and Capcom's was horrible and very short and silly. It seemed.
They talked about 3 games we already knew about, maybe about 5 minutes each, and then they did a 2-hour felt like esports promo, and then said, "Okay, we're out of here." It's like, really?
You know what? I was hoping for more Resident Evil. I was thinking like maybe they're gonna do a little bit more Resident Evil stuff.
No,
They showed
you know
a
what the
Microsoft
Resident Evil
Word document saying,
Yeah, they were like,
"Yeah, we're gonna have DLC."
yeah, pretty much. They're
Microsoft
like,
Paint.
it was like, here, let's talk about Resident Evil Village, and then the little preview was there's gonna be DLC in words. They couldn't even get anybody to come out and say it. It was like, we're gonna have DLC for Resident Evil Village, and then they moved on to the next game. Terrible.
Hey, Adrian, finish my sentence. If you don't have anything to bring to the show,
Don't come. And what's worse? If you do have stuff and you blue ball everybody, that's even just no. Don't cancel it because I'm moving on to Square. I don't know if you guys saw. I retweeted Rocco Botte from Mega 64. He and I had the exact same reactions about Final Fantasy 1 through 6. We were like, oh my God, here it comes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you see the Steam and mobile, and he just gets so deflated. And it was the same. Oh my God. How dare you, Square? How dare you?
Oh,
And then not only that,
game.
yeah, you remaster them to put them on Steam and mobile. Why? 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12 are on Switch. Why wouldn't you put 1 through 6 on there and have 1 through 12 on the same console? Mm-hmm. You could do it for all of them. 7 through 12 are on Game Pass. Why don't you put 1 through 6 on Game Pass? It doesn't make sense. I don't Square sometimes, like, it's like their brain is like 2 copper wires and it's a little bit of electricity that goes through them sometimes. And sometimes the wires just move a little bit, and there's a disconnect somewhere in there.
The wind blows, and then that spark stops. They're not they're not communicating. It's like,
and then not to mention, what was that other one? Babylon's Fall, right? Is that what it was called? Looked awful.
What the heck?
Looked really bad.
The new Final Fantasy Origins that we talked about last show, like
Was
Nina
that the one
Souls,
that
are like, oh,
was
it's
one
gonna
where
be
he
a
said,
banger.
"Kill chaos." He said chaos like 400 times.
Yeah.
Feel the pain.
Chaos.
I want to kill chaos.
Gosh.
Are you kidding me? How? And then you try to put Final Fantasy on there to make it like, oh, it's okay. It's Final Fantasy. I was so interested.
Story.
Yeah, I was so interested in this concept, and then I saw it. I'm like, you can, Nomura, you can hold on to this. This is not. This is what you're doing instead of Kingdom Hearts. Got it.
Oh man.
Yeah. So both of those were super letdowns.
But Guardians of the Galaxy,
Saving Grace.
And they
Guardians
kicked off the
looks
show with
rad.
that. So it started off on a high note. The show was like, dude, not expecting that. Like, I knew there was
Not
some
at all.
rumors. There was some rumors going around for the last few months even. Like, hey, they're working on something. But holy smokes, I'm going to come out with that, have like a release date, have an extensive trailer and gameplay.
Yeah.
The
It's like,
perfect way to show off a
man.
game coming soon is the way they did. It was perfect.
Yeah.
To show it actually being
good.
played. Yeah.
Yeah. And I am so stoked for like the branching, you can choose, the dialogue trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like the redesign, so the redesign for Avengers. always felt weird. Like it seemed like,
It's great value. Great value Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the dollar
Hey,
store
there's
Avengers or
nothing,
something like
there's
that.
nothing wrong with great value versions of stuff, guys. There's some pretty good stuff from from the Walmart.
But these remakes are like, okay, like the reimagining of these characters. I'm like, I like these designs. They look good. They sound good. Adrian, you were commenting on like the voice actors out during the show. You're like, dude, like they actually sound good. They don't sound goofy. And it's
They don't
like people,
sound goofy. And it's people who we don't know. So it makes
Yeah.
it much more believable. It's not your typical Troy Baker, Nolan North, Laura Bailey. I don't know who any of these people are, and I love that. And I love that they're all really good and they're believable in their roles.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the Peter Quill look. I wish they would have gotten creative with that look, but everybody else, I think the Rocket Raccoon look might even be better than the movies. It's just so rad.
I think the only thing about Peter was probably the hair. I think they should have just maybe done something with that, but everything else on him looked pretty good.
Blonde, just slick back.
I really like the Drax the Destroyer look. I thought the look with the chest being all red like that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, all their designs are great. The redesigns are great, and I love that they showed when they were talking about it with the developers that the comics from like I think it was a run from 2008 or something like that, or which is actually a really good run. Was like one of the main inspirations for this title. So they are actually going back to the comic books, unlike another team that rhymes with Schmistel Schmeischmamics.
Great. That was fantastic.
That was a reach.
I'm just saying. They're actually doing homework. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
I know you guys brought it up in the stream, but real quick about the music for Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you think that's such a big part of why the movies were so lovable is the score. So, do you guys think they're going to be able to get some of that type of music in the soundtrack for the game?
Yeah, it already was there.
I think so. So yeah, it was already in some of the trailers, some of the gameplay, and yeah, during the gameplay they were showing off combat, which the combat looks great. It reminds me a lot of like I've recently playing Final Fantasy 7 and trying some 15. I'm like, oh, it's that's the combat here, but with guns and stuff. His special. Peter Quill is special, so you limit. I imagine you have like a limit bar you fill up, and all of a sudden he puts on the headphones and like I forget what song kicked in, but it's some like 80s rock song, and like everyone's getting like an AOE effect, so everyone's getting buffed and he's shooting stuff and everything like. But yeah, it's just this blaring music and so I'm stoked for the sound. I'm stoked for the soundtrack and like, it's gonna be so good. Dude, any other bangers from Square or Capcom you want to talk about?
They showed the bangers and made it look like they were going to talk about them, and then nothing. They showed that they had a new title for Project Athia and didn't do anything else with it.
Yeah.
When did they even change the title?
Yeah.
They had footage of Final Fantasy 16. Didn't say a word about it. We haven't heard about that game in 8 months since they did the PS5 reveal. What's going on with that?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Bizarre.
I'll see you next year, Square.
Oh, bizarre. So crazy. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything of note from this E3 so far. Obviously, tomorrow night we're going to be doing the Nintendo Direct stream, so join us over there at twitch.tv/the Super Gamer Boys. I'm ready for the new Nintendo Switch coming out. I'm ready for Bayonetta 3.
Rhythm Heaven and WarioWare. I need your vibes, chat. I need them.
We're getting Metroid Prime 4. We're getting everything. Getting it all tomorrow. Adrian, do you wanna touch on your little this small show coming to Netflix?
Oh, just a little tiny, Netflix. They had their Geek Week, which was kind of like a E3 adjacent type of deal, and they showed off. Number one, they announced that how would you say number 2 villain of the game is going to be voiced by Wayne Brady, of all people.
Which is amazing.
Right, which is rad. And then they showed off a good maybe 30, 45 seconds of footage, which looks phenomenal. It looks just like the game. They even put the film grain over the footage. I'm stoked for it. Cuphead is one of my top 10 games of all time. So when I found out there was going to be a show, I was already in. That was another thing too that I am interested to see what's going on with Cuphead, the DLC, because that was nowhere to be found this year too, and it's been announced a while. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. MDHR, if you got anything for me, if you want to maybe say something tomorrow, you could.
Yeah. Hit us up. At
I'm
Super
thinking
Gamer
they're going
Boys.
to turn that into Cuphead too.
I'm praying, dude. Just please. It's been too long. I feel like the DLC got away from them, and they're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and make it 2, which would be perfectly fine. There is no amount of money that I will not pay for Cuphead 2. So, yeah. The show looks phenomenal. I'm definitely going to be checking for it. I don't think they have a hard date on it yet, but yeah, I'll be on the lookout for it.
Absolutely love Wayne Brady as the choice for the bad guy, dude.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely amazing. He's such a lovable person.
And he can
But
sing.
when he played, oh man, amazingly. And but when he does bad, I don't know if you ever saw the Chappelle show where he ends up threatening Dave Chappelle
Yep.
and turns like all super hardcore on him. It's some of the best stuff ever. So man, I look forward to Cuphead show. Coming to Netflix. That's not the only Netflix show that's gonna rock. I don't know if you guys heard, but He-Man is coming.
That's right.
To Netflix.
And it looks great.
And I know they jacked up She-Ra, but like, look, man, I'm a kid of the '80s. Love He-Man, and I can't wait. I can't wait for that cartoon. Like, I literally geeked out. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, full
Like me
full
when I
bore.
saw Death Stranding director's cut.
I did. I swear, I full
Johnny
on
Depp.
Garrett nerded out.
Oh man, so good. Yeah, so there was some cool Netflix stuff that came out. Also some weird stuff. just look up. I love the kind of funnies clip of the Resident Evil cast reveal. just go look for that. I think it's on their Instagram. It's so funny. They're just like, what the heck is that? Some bizarre choices there on Netflix.
A lot of bonehead choices this year. I don't know what it is.
We need that.
I think people are just
cringe, though.
Yeah, they're getting used to being out of their homes and having to socialize again. I think we just have to get
That's
back
exactly
into
what it
it.
is. No one knows how to interact with human beings anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, that's it for our news segments. It's a little long, but I mean, that's to expected. Every year at E3, we always have a banger, or a big ol' big boy episode. So, Adrian, are you? I forgot to check in before the show. Are you wanting to do Super Indie Boys here? Do you have some picks?
Okay. So, because it's E3 and there was a whole lot of stuff shown, I am going to take this Super Indie Boys this week and make it a Super Indie Boy XL. And here's the one thing I'm going to do. You can call it self-promo. You can call it whatever you want. My picks for E3 is everything that I covered. So go and watch me reacting to the Wholesome Direct. Go and watch me reacting to Day of the Devs. Watch me reacting to the Playdate update. All 3 of those things happened in the range of E3, and every single one of those creators and every single one of those publishers all deserve your eyes being on those projects. I guarantee you there is something in there for you. Mm-hmm. That is going to be my pick. So to sum it up, everything.
Yeah.
Done.
There you go. YouTube.com/SuperGamerBoys. Go watch all of Adrian's awesome coverage of
and go
E3
watch
there.
the Devolver Direct too. I just didn't get a chance to cover it. Mm-hmm. Go watch that too.
I wanted to give a special shout out to Xbox doing all those indie demos right now. It just launched today.
Baby.
Yeah. So I think you can play, what's it called? That one. Drive the little thing, and then there's like a big desert, and it looks amazing. And now I forget the name of it. But
the one where you talk to that. You mean the one where you get in the cab?
No, I'll have to look it up. I don't want to lead people astray. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, while you're looking that up, I'm going to move into our Patreon ad here. All right, guys. So if you missed it at the top of the show, we mentioned that we have a Patreon. You people support us over there at patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can just support us for just $1 a month. You get episodes early and ad-free. So if you're missing it live on Monday night when we record it, we stream it live on Twitch. We delete the VOD right away, but then I send that MP3 out onto the interwebs to all of you Patreon supporters, and you can listen to it early. So as early as Monday night, Tuesday morning, whatever, you wake up, you listen to that bad boy, and it doesn't have any of the ads. So this part you would never hear again. So, take it or leave it, I guess. Maybe you love hearing me talk about Patreon. You also get access to show notes early, so you know what we're going to be talking about. You can even chime in yourself. You see a news article we're talking about, have some comments, concerns, questions, whatever, throw them on the doc. We'll talk about in the show. You get access to our exclusive show, Super Gamer Book Club. Only get through Patreon there. The first episode, since we renewed for season 2 here, it'll be coming back in July, and we're coming back with a banger, doing Undertale, which is a new game for me. I've never played it before. One of Adrian's favorites, and we're having Steph Babies joining us.
The
it's
one
her
and
first
only
time as well. So Steph Babies from Normcore Gaming. She's going to be joining us. I'm excited to have Steph on. She's such an awesome person. Also, so yeah, that's patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there. $1, $5, $10, $15. We got 4 different tiers. Got all sorts of fun stuff. But the important thing, I feel like I mention this every week, and still knowing that the number still says 0 next to my channel analytics. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, which means if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, put those two together, plug them in, and you get a free subscription every month. It costs you $0, and it gives us $5.
no money, just clicks.
The math doesn't make sense, but you know what? It's fine. If Jeff Bezos wants to give us $5 for free, that's fine. But you have to click the button. If you don't click the button, we don't get it. So just want to throw that out there. If you got a free sub, go ahead and throw it our way. You get some fun emotes. You get my face. You get JJ's, or you get mine and Adrian's pixel face, and then you get a beautiful JJ emote of him looking into the eyes of death. Is what it looks like.
Such a good emote,
Waking
dude.
up late. It was horrible.
Oh man, that was such a thank you Normcore for Eddie there for making that. I was like, that's too perfect. I can't not use that now. Like, we need some fun emotes. So that was a nice fun one to add to the docket there. So if you want to use those emotes, go ahead, subscribe to us, and that helps us as well. So all right, let's get back to the show.
Sable. It's Sable.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sable. Okay.
I was just holding it in my head. I had to keep it there. I even wrote it right next to me. 'Cause I knew
Wait,
I'd
they put a
forget it.
demo out? I missed that part.
Yeah, it's out right now.
Excuse me. Gentlemen, it's been a good day.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
I'm gonna
Catch
be
you all on the
playing it
flippity flop. All right, it's what you playing time. I haven't been playing much. I've been playing Undertale and Phasmophobia, stuff you heard a million times before, and you're going to hear more in the future about Undertale. I want to hear about this game because I haven't talked to anyone else who's played it. So I'm going to let our guest go here. Nate, you've been playing Ratchet and Clank on the PS5. Is that correct?
That is correct. 100% correct.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this top tier game that everyone's raving about on the interwebs?
It's a must play for sure. It's a staple of the generation, I would say. It's very familiar in that it's obviously Ratchet and Clank. The mechanics are all incredibly familiar, but it does something to each mechanic that feels like they pushed it to a new level. I don't know if you guys played It Takes Two, but there's a point in that where you basically ride, basically like Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, the mine carts. Riding on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, essentially, Ratchet and Clank has something like that. You're riding on these, long, whatever they are. I don't freaking know what they are. Railroad tracks, whatever. but like so much stuff is going on at once that makes it feel so new and next gen. You're going in between dimensions and it's all happening like in real time. I'm not even kidding you. No frame breaks at all. You're going in between dimensions, stuff's flying at you. You can pause it and go into photo mode and it looks like a promo for the game. It looks like they could take that and put it on front, like in front of the game and say, this is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Anytime you take a photo, it's beautiful. There's so much going on. It makes me so excited to play any game coming in the future. I mean, Returnal was a good picture of what next gen could be, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is like that idea more realized. And to think that the beginning of the Xbox One and PS4, time, the beginning of the PS3 and 360 time, those weren't really highlights. We think about that as old gen. If this is kind of not a highlight in 10 years, dang, I can't wait to see what's to come because it is. It's awesome. As far as the story goes, it paces really well. You never get tired of what you're doing. You could be doing one command, one, mechanic. There we go. Maybe you have rocket boots in one mission. Well, now you don't have rocket boots anymore because they've given you anti-gravity in the next mission. Like they switched it up enough where it feels like it paces really well. Questionable puzzles about midway through each section that I'm not a fan of, but I'm not a fan of just slapping in puzzle places. I think Ratchet and Clank shines when it just does what it does best, and that's just fun, moment-to-moment action, and then like little mini puzzles with the characters. But I don't like it when they throw you into basically, it's hard to describe without spoiling, but you're not playing as the main characters, you're playing as these side things, and it just doesn't feel fun. Okay. But you can hit the pause button and you can click this amazing button called Skip Puzzle. So
really,
yeah. Dude. So if you're not interested in the puzzles, they're totally skippable. But it's questionable. I don't know why they did it. Maybe to beef it up. But the pacing is perfect. It paces so well that I'm already 12 hours into this game in 2 days. It's like so fun. I'm on the final mission right now. I wish I had finished it so I could have given my full review. But it's like nonstop action. If you have a PS5, you have to play this game. I haven't said that about any other game on PS5 besides Hades, but that's on everything else. Play this game. Trust, it's so good. It's in my thought for Game of the Year, and I hope it stays there because a lot of games could come out.
Now, Nate, how are you finding time to play that much?
My wife
got a
was
baby
gone.
at home, man.
My wife was gone on Saturday.
Yeah, but he's got one on the way, right?
Yeah. Well, my wife was gone all day Saturday, so what's a boy to do but give the daughter the YouTube Kids and throw on Ratchet and Clank?
Oh, and then, perfect parenting. Loving it.
Then my in-laws had her on Sunday, or I don't remember. The moral of the story is one thing.
I don't even remember. She wasn't here.
12 hours in.
Nate, now Ratchet and Clank it's a classic series. It's got a whole lot of fantastic games in the line in the series.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about this one? Do you think it could be the best Ratchet and Clank game? Or do you have an affinity for the series? I'm not saying could this be do you have a favorite Ratchet and Clank?
It's hard to say. I think it's one of the. I think better? If it went up against the games from last year, it could also win Game of the Year from last year too. That's how good it is. It's the best Ratchet and Clank game I've ever played, but you're not going to find me nerding out about Ratchet and Clank, in a normal conversation. So I wouldn't be the one to say. I don't think I've only played 2 Ratchet and Clank games.
Okay, so I didn't know if you were a Ratchet head or not. So I just wanted to see.
Before this, I'd only played 2. But I'm confident enough to say that it's one of the best games I've ever played. It's so fun, but it won't have a top 10 forever place in my heart because at the end of the day, it's Ratchet and Clank. You know what I mean? It's like a fun, kind of kiddish, fun, lighthearted game. but it's not something that's going to be like, I remember that point in time where I played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And that stuck with me. Now it's in my top 10.
That story really struck a chord with me.
But it is one of the best games I've ever
Changed me.
played, easily. But you know, when it comes to favorites, that's a totally different list, as we all know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, and like
awesome.
I said, in 10 years, this could be like, oh, that game, whatever.
Man, it looks terrible.
Yeah, it could be, but right now there's nothing beating it. It is.
Yeah.
It's the bar. You know what I mean? That's it. So I tried not to give away anything because I do think a lot of you guys will play it, and I think it's worth it to experience those surprises in real time. Doesn't matter when you play it, but yeah, it's phenomenal. Great.
Most of us will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of us.
I think just me, Nate, is what you're trying to say. Like, that I'm the
Oh,
only other
you better
one.
play it. You have kids. You better.
I'm definitely gonna play it.
Yeah.
I'm the only other one here with the PS5 right now, and Adrian's already sworn off of them. Garrett's never gonna be able to afford to have one. So with all the crack habits and keeps having kids every once in a while.
Yeah.
So all the RGB I keep buying.
Apparently. No, I don't know if that answers your question, but it's good. It's really
No, it
good.
absolutely does. It absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you said it's one of the best games you've ever played automatically would make it the best Ratchet and Clank. So,
And they might be
There it
one of
is.
the best developers out there.
oh yeah, Insomniac is incredible.
It sounds
Like top
so
3.
Good.
They're good.
So freaking good. So according to the doc here, JJ and Adrian apparently didn't play any games. So
Oh,
don't
I
know if
played
that's
some
true.
stuff.
That's Cap. I know they play games.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
about JJ. I don't know about JJ.
I played some. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. I played a lot of Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh, I was
And,
not expecting
dude,
that.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. So my son got the game not that long ago, and I love that game. We're having such a blast with it. He's been creating a lot of little levels, and then we went over and had like a big family barbecue at my brother's house. He's got a Switch. He's got the Mario Maker 2. He's created all kinds of levels. All we did yesterday after church was hang out all day and play Super Mario Maker 2, and we played all kinds of like impossible levels, and there's a lot of really great levels because there's levels that you look at and you're like, dude, they don't make sense, but you have to do things in a specific order in order to be, and it's like, man, how do they come up with this crap? Like, how do they come up with it?
It's almost more like a puzzle than just like a Mario. Yeah, it's not just like run through a Mario level. Yeah, there's all these fun puzzle
Right.
ones that are so cool.
Yeah, Mario Maker
Yeah.
is phenomenal. It's
such a great game, and my son was against it for a long time. No, I don't want that, and now it's his favorite game, and he's like playing it like crazy right now. And it is. It's just such a great game. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be getting a Switch Lite eventually for my youngest, and she wants her own Mario Maker 2 game. So we'll see. I don't know about that, but it's a great game. We're having a lot of fun with it. So I've been playing it quite a bit. Like I said, all day yesterday.
rad.
Nice. Adrian, anything you want to share about some games you've been playing, or?
You know me. When we are in turbo mode like we've been lately, I like to decompress with some old stuff. So I've actually been playing a little bit of Golden Sun, believe it or not. I mean, it's an all-time
Game
great.
Boy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All-time great RPG. I got my new modded Game Boy Advance. It's got the fancy super backlit screen. It's extra clear. I've never seen it look as good as it does now.
Dude.
So I'm having a ball with that. And then when I'm not doing that, it's actually been a little bit of Final Fantasy Tactics on the old PlayStation Portable.
Oh man, such a wonderful console. Love the PSP.
And then of course I'm pretty much rounding out on Undertale. This is just kind of like it's a refresher one for me. This is a refresher playthrough. I'm like, oh, I remember that. I don't remember this. I remember that. So I'll be ready to go for book club.
Nice. Yeah, dude, I'm enjoying my time in Undertale. I can't wait to talk about it more with you and stuff later. But cool. Well, guys, that is a show if I ever did see one. It's a long one, but it's been a fun few days, a fun week. having all the E3 news coming out. There's still more coming tomorrow. Yeah, so thank you guys all so much for listening to our kind of rants and raves and discussions and
please bring it home, Nintendo. Please bring it home, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Please,
Nintendo, don't do us dirty. They're gonna come out and have like 3 games and then leave. They're gonna pull.
Oh, don't say that, Garrett. I said the same thing about Capcom. Look where that got us.
Oh no, I jinxed us. But yeah, so if you want to I'm gonna reiterate it again. We've said it 100 times, but we're gonna be live here tomorrow night. Watch us over there, 8 p.m. doing the Nintendo Direct. If you miss it, all of our E3 coverage is over at youtube.com/supergamerboys, where you can catch Adrian doing the indie stuff. They're doing the Capcom stream. Me and him do the Xbox and the Square Enix streams together. Watch it all over there. It's a blast. If you missed any of the news, watch us react to it and analyze it afterwards in a post show. You can support us at patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us and get cool stuff like episodes early and ad free and other cool perks. Fun stuff over there. Rate and review us on your podcast services. Give us thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe. Like our channel here on Twitch. All the stuff. Just do all the stuff because it helps tremendously. You may not realize it.
Tell us how good we sound now.
Just tell us how. As long as I'm afraid we keep talking about it, it's gonna jinx it, and like someone's file is gonna corrupt, and then we're gonna have to use the janky audio. So we'll let you know next week if it worked. We'll let you know next week. But you can find us during the week at Super Gamer Boys over on Twitter and Instagram. We're on the interwebs, supergamerboys.com, facebook.com/supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. JJ's over on Twitter and Instagram at
JJ Purdom.
Homeboy. Sorry, I just used your tag there. That's just, I just saw it in front of me. I had to read it. Adrian's over at Twitter and Instagram at Homeboy there, HOLMBOI, and then we have Nate with Twitter and Instagram. Do you have one you want to shout out?
You can just follow me on Twitter at Boba Fletch.
Fletch, okay. I realize we've had some guests who actually don't want to shout their thing out. So before I said, I was like, maybe I should check and make sure it's all right to shout that one out. So yeah, go follow him at Boba Fletch. And you haven't done any streams in a while, but go give him a follow, twitch.tv/Boba Fletch. Maybe there'll be a surprise one day. You never know. Maybe they'll make a comeback. Yeah, that's all I got, JJ.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Thank you so very much once again for joining us here on the broadcast. There is Nasty Nate Fletcher. And of course, the adorable assassin, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. And goofy Garrett Morlang. And of course, myself, Juicy JJ Purdom.
Oh,
we are the Super Gamer Boys.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop. Oh, no.
I kind of like Juicy.